Welcome back, YouTube. It's J Roebuck, and I am here with another video where we're going to analyze a clip from the Rory and Maul show, which you guys should all tune into. It's a great show that I always watch. Shout out to Rory, shout out to Maul. But Rory dropped a hint today about a potential lawsuit that will affect radio stations around the country. And he used some specific language like RICO, like money laundering, and this is all alleged, right? We can't say anything for sure. But this got me thinking, why is this happening now? How is it related to everything that's taken place over the last year? And how it could potentially be related to Drake's lawsuit against UMG. So I'm not going to hold you. We're going to get right into it. Let's check out the clip.
I also think there's a big lawsuit coming with All Radio.
All Radio?
Mm-hmm. I think there's a huge lawsuit, and I think it's not directly with some of the firing and downsizing that's happening, but I think there is a very, very big lawsuit coming within the music industry.
Interesting that he keeps saying he thinks, almost like maybe he heard it somewhere.
And radio specifically.
Why?
I don't know how much I can say yet.
And remember, this is all alleged, right? Rory is not confirming that he heard this or that he knows for sure. He just said he doesn't know how much he can say yet.
I don't know how much I can say yet.
Say it.
I just think that there is some type of way of RICO and money laundering going on with radio and the music business. That's all I'm saying. All right, so you know the same thing. All right. So you
It's
heard
funny.
this too.
It's funny.
I think some shit is going down.
So I think that this is quite interesting. Not only is it interesting because of what he's saying, it's also how he says it, right? He clearly may have heard this from someone. But now I want to go into the facts because it's always good to go with facts over feelings. We know that in February of this year, the FCC probed iHeartMedia in regards to payola allegations or pay-to-play schemes, where they were trying to see if the radio station was getting paid to play certain music, because we know that is illegal. You cannot take money to play a certain song, especially if it's not disclosed. Radio has a large influence over its listeners, so if something like that is happening, it needs to be declared to the public. We also know that in March of 2025, Drake and iHeartMedia reached a settlement. The settlement details were not disclosed to the public, but the settlement was made due to Drake's lawsuit against not only UMG, but against iHeart as well, alleging that they were getting paid to play certain songs or certain music. Now, when things like this are settled, the public often doesn't know what the details are. We can only begin to speculate. And my speculation leads me here. It takes one domino to knock down thousands. So was Drake's lawsuit the first domino that fell that has led us to where we are today? I think it's a strong possibility. Let's look at the other things that have happened around Drake's lawsuit, not only against iHeart, but also against UMG. Now, in Drake's New York filing against UMG, he alleges a few things. The first, standard payola, that there was a pay-to-play scheme to boost Not Like Us, that there was somehow money funneled to New York radio stations to play the song to boost its popularity, and it was not disclosed to the public, which is illegal. Pay for play or payola. The second thing he alleges is that Spotify was engaged in similar behavior with an incentive pay-to-play behavior, right? It was discounted and there were secret financial deals made to promote the song and also to provide artificial streaming. This is why he wants to see contracts. This is why he wants to see emails and communications, because he believes there's something there that will indicate that this happened for sure, because right now we can only say this is alleged behavior related to bots, related to pay for play on the radio and also on streaming platforms, specifically Spotify. Now we have to stick to the facts. It was reported by Lauren LaRosa of Power 105 The Breakfast Club that some offices were raided in Turkey. So let me be accurate here. Turkish authorities raided Universal Music Group, Sony Music Group, and other label offices in Turkey over bribery allegations for Spotify playlist placements. Spotify has also launched an internal investigation. Now, Lauren LaRosa also indicates that they are also looking at the United States offices for these same alleged schemes or pressuring or bribery related to playlisting. If you don't know, one of the main ways to blow up a song is to get it on the right playlist, because oftentimes when we're listening to music, we just press play on the most popular playlist for hip hop and R&B, and that's how new tracks are discovered, and that's how certain songs stay in rotation and get increased streams. So again, we have to connect some dots here. From the time that Drake kicked off this lawsuit up until present day, we've had offices raided in Turkey. We have federal probes into payola. We have a settled lawsuit where we don't get the details. Are we noticing a pattern here? We also have Rory here and Maul here chiming in that we could potentially be getting a RICO case related to radio stations and payola. The entire system seems to be changing. You can also recognize that Spotify over the past few months has been cleaning up the bots. We've been seeing a lot of artists' numbers go down in terms of overall streams and monthly listeners because Spotify is attempting to clean up their act. And I wonder why that's happening right now. And I think it's time that we put on our tinfoil hats here. When Drake started this lawsuit, the main narrative that the public picked up was Drake is suing Kendrick Lamar over Not Like Us. It's just about the song. He wants him to stop doing that. I never looked at it like that because lawsuits aren't personal. Lawsuits are business. So why would Drake do this? If he just wanted the song to not be performed, if he just wanted the song to be taken down, if he just wanted to personally hurt Kendrick Lamar, he could have sued him directly. He clearly doesn't care about the public perception. So if he would have sued Kendrick directly a week before the Super Bowl, he could have tried to get an injunction to stop him from performing the song. But he didn't do that. He sued the label and he has kept Kendrick Lamar out of it, but he's kept the label directly in the middle. Because I don't think that his main purpose is to hurt Kendrick. I don't think what we're seeing in this rollout and what we're seeing from Drake right now is a battle against Kendrick Lamar. I think there's a bigger battle. You see, as consumers, what we are trained to do is look directly ahead, don't turn our heads, and see the tip of the iceberg. But the reason why icebergs are dangerous isn't the tip of the iceberg, it's what's beneath the surface. And that's what we need to do here, is examine what is going on. When Drake talks about this red button, when he talks in 30 for 30 freestyle, he's not talking to individuals. He's talking to labels. He's talking to executives. And what I believe this red button is, or what I believe his master plan is not even a personal attack at Lucian. It's an attack on the system. It's a system that he may have benefited from because he was the number one artist in the rap game. But he may not have benefited from bots, because if he was, why would he be using them in present day when that's what he's suing for? And his numbers have not decreased. This indicates to me that he himself or his direct team was never involved in something like that. What I believe he wants to do is shake up the entire system, whether it's for personal gain and selfish gain, where he talks about, that 2,000 million, that $2 billion number in his most recent song, or whether it's good for all artists because he is changing the way that the music industry may work. Remember, my tinfoil hat is on here. I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen. I'm saying this is where my brain is leading me. It's not about Kendrick Lamar. It's about the industry itself. Because do you see how the industry was able to change public perception about him in just a year? Do you see how the industry was able to spew out nasty narratives about him in just a year? And we've seen the industry try to take him down. He didn't get that number one song, and we saw that he lost to a song that was not streaming well. He lost to a song that was not downloaded and was not that popular. He lost to a song because of the radio play. And what companies own Billboard and own the charting and own the places where we pull the data from and own the algorithm that dictates what the number one song gets? Did you think about that? So when he said there's a suppressor on the number one spot, he wasn't lying. These are the facts. You don't choose what songs get played on radio. The program directors do. But what influences their decision? That is what we're talking about right now. So if these probes find something that could be illegal, if there is actually a lawsuit against radio stations, if Spotify has found that they did not clean up the bots and that artists have been hurt by these streaming farms, what are the implications? It'll be a big payday for Drake, but what about the other artists? They can win as well. I've said this for months, maybe close to a year. A class action lawsuit could happen where artists band together and say, because these companies use bots, it took away from the overall pot that we deserve to eat from. Because Spotify divides up music based on consumption. The larger artists get the bigger piece of the pie. But what about the smaller artists who don't use bots and who don't have access to these methods? They get affected. So they could potentially band together and say, we want to sue the label. We want to audit the label. We want to audit Spotify. That is a possibility. If you've been looking around the industry, how many executives have resigned in the past year? How many shakeups have we seen at radio stations? Look at Hot 97 in the past week, downsizing and cutting major talent who has contributed to the station for over 20 years. You see, we're often looking too ahead and we're just looking at the battle. Oh, Drake is suing, so what is going to be the effect on battle rap? That's not the issue here. We just saw a battle happen 2 weeks after that where Joey Badass battled the entire West Coast. His lawsuit had zero effect on it. So as consumers, we're caught up in the little things and we often don't see the bigger picture. But what Rory and Maul just did should have opened a lot of eyes. We are going to see a lot of change in the next year. I don't think we're going to see the industry be broken down. That's not going to happen. The people who are in control are in control. But what we will see is methods change. What we will see are people lose their jobs because it's going to be exposed to us. And if it doesn't get exposed to us and these things get settled, which they likely will, we just have to look at the effects to tell us what the causes are. Now, let me know what you think in the comments. Did I go too crazy with this or am I onto something? What do the facts say and where do the facts lead you? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. The last videos have been doing amazing numbers and I'm happy to be building this community with y'all. Salute.